Hello, all, and welcome to All Red. It's Liverpool and Lille LOSC in the Champions League. Man, it's been a while. It has been a while. Feels like the Champions League was like 2 years ago that we were last playing. Aaron from London, back with us. Aaron, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, I've aged 10 years since the Brentford game at the weekend.
Yeah, I
Trust me,
think we
mate.
all
That was
have.
that was a tough watch. That was a
Oh,
tough
yeah,
watch.
yeah. Tough watch until the 90th minute, and then it was a sweet, sweet release,
Oh
and
yeah.
we all could sleep a little peacefully that night. And then, of course, just with the incredible weekend that Liverpool had, Liverpool fans were just buzzing. It was disaster. You know, it was like 89th minute, and I could feel it. I was like, dude, this is like, I don't know. I think I was telling my 9-year-old, this might be it. We just cannot win.
Yeah.
And then Darwin Nunez happens, and it's like, we're winning the league. Come on, let's go. So quite the turn of events there. But we shift our attention back to the Champions League, Aaron, where Liverpool, I think, people are going to look at this match against Lille. Sorry, I'm not French, but they're going to look at this match and think, oh, this is going to be an easy match. Team from the French league, Ligue 1, and this is going to be difficult. LOSC has been good, especially in the Champions League. They are currently sitting in 8th place, but there are 6 teams that currently have 13 points, and LOSC is one of them. And so this is not going to be an easy match. It is at Anfield, but I think the big question here, Aaron, and I'll ask you this, is this a game that arneslot feels like he needs to put out his best 11? What do you think?
I think he goes strong, but I don't think he goes as strong as he can do. I think there's maybe a couple of players which are putting the hard yards in, the likes of a Gravenberg, maybe, where he feels maybe he can have a rest. He's earned his rest. We have Jones that can maybe slip into that position. We have Endo that could maybe slip into that position as well. But Gravenberg, who I thought was amazing, I thought he was excellent against Brentford. He was so good against Brentford. And actually, he looked refreshed. So it was good to see him have a really good game. But I think he'll make a few changes, not too many. I think he might play a couple of the players that played against Brentford and didn't play too well, thinking that actually maybe at the weekend they may not start.
That's bold. Well, let's jump into it. We're going to jump into starting at the back as always. I think we are going to see Alisson Becker. I think we'd be hard pressed to see Kelleher in there potentially, but I think this is Alisson's game. We haven't really seen Kelleher a whole lot since Alisson has been back, and I thought he was good. Clean sheet. Can't really slate him for that against Brentford. And I also think we're going to see Van Dijk and Konate as well in that center back duo. I don't think we've had any disagreements so far. What do you think about Trent starting? And I'm putting Robbo out there. What do you think?
I think Robbo starts 100%. I think because actually I thought Costas was maybe our weakest link against Brentford. Listen, Brian Mbeumo's a very good player, good player. But some of the defending by Costas was poor at times. And actually, as much as Robertson's missed, he's lacking that yard of pace. Defensively, I think he's just a better defender than Costas. I think Robbo starts, but I think Bradley starts.
Really?
I think Trent's going to be saved for the weekend, and I think we've got a game at the weekend where we can really inflict a little bit more pain on Arsenal. So fingers crossed, we come out of this game unscathed. But I think what you've got there, mate, I think that'll be the back five.
Okay, I like that. I'd love to see Connor Bradley get some more playing time because I think he's a brilliant talent. There is a note there, Aaron, of Forest have to go to Bournemouth this weekend in the Premier League.
Tough game.
Liverpool host Ipswich, which by all accounts that should be. I'm not going to say it's going to be a win, but that is out of the big three. That is the easiest opponent. Arsenal has to go away to Wolves. So, that's not a difficult match, I wouldn't say, for Arsenal. But you come into a game where, every week in the Premier League now matters. And you chip off a game after game after game. And if that gap stays the same, the title is getting closer and closer. So, all right, let's get back to this. You mentioned possibly Gravenberch taking a rest. I've got Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, and McAllister in here. What would you change from this three?
Do you know what? I'd leave Sobo in. Sobo stays in for me. I thought he was excellent. I thought, arguably man of the match against Brentford. It's nice to see him shooting again. Honestly, it was, mate, he hits the ball so well. And I feel like we've been missing them 25-yard pile drivers for a long time. So it was good to see. And some of his little 1-2 movement in and around the box, jumping onto the end of things, having, shots at the end of it and stuff. It was really good to see.
Yep.
I'd probably go Gravenberch, maybe having a rest. He might go Gravenberch and McAllister have a rest, play Sobo in front of Endo and Jones potentially.
Okay. I think that's
and
fair.
I'd be okay with that. I just think, Gravenberch and McAllister having to do so much work, it wouldn't be the end of the world if them two got a rest for the midweek game.
Yeah, I agree. LOSC is the type of team where they're not going to score massive amounts of goals, and their defense hasn't been superb. So, hey, they might try to employ that low block, like a lot of the Premier League teams have been doing against Liverpool. But I don't see us having maybe as big of a challenge putting goals in the back of the net in this one. It's an Anfield night. It's a European night. And so I agree. I'd like to see Gravenberch and McAllister both just get a little bit of a rest. Hey, even if you need to bring them in maybe at the 60th, 70th minute mark. But Jones and Endo, I think, could do the job well. And I'd love to see Szoboszlai continue to build on this progression. He has been probably our, it's hard to say because Gravenberch and McAllister have been excellent, but Szoboszlai, I mean, you can see it, and
he's up to Sam, and he's really up his game.
He has, and this is why Szoboszlai at the beginning of the year, he was running, he was the engine, but he was poor. I mean, in possession, passing, it was just kind of shocking. It's almost like arneslot took him and stripped him down, and then built him back up, and now we're seeing this complete midfielder. And I think we're going to continue to see that progression, especially if we see teams like what Brentford did. Do that low block. They're going to try to defend, put 10 players behind the ball, and try to counter. Well, Szoboszlai will be a key part of breaking that down with his ability to shoot from distance. We saw that, almost scored, hit it off the crossbar. But I'd love to see Szoboszlai come out. And I think, he's scored goals in these Champions League matches. So I'd love to see him put one in the back of the net. All right, front three, Aaron. We got some options here. I don't know if Jota is officially back or if he's still got the niggle. Just based on history, he's probably going to be out for a while. He might have stepped his toe.
It's probably another 6 or 7 weeks.
Yeah,
in injury. I love Jota, but the guy cannot stay fit for more than 4 or 5 games in a row. And I hate saying it because the guy is a 25, 30 goal a season striker if he stays fit for a season. And I'm going to argue with this front three.
All right, argue with it. What do you think?
I'm going to argue with this front three. I don't think they need to play. In fact, actually, I would. The front three that I would go with is different to that. Yeah, all 3 of them.
Good.
However, I think they may play, Sam. They may play because they weren't good enough against Brentford. And he might be looking for fresh legs against Ipswich at the weekend. Listen, I would go Elliott on the right.
Okay.
Chiesa on the left, and Nunez down the middle.
Okay. Wow. That is fresh. I love the shout for Nunez. I want to see him build.
He needs another goal, Sam.
I want to see him build on that performance. Obviously,
agree.
It wasn't like a Darwin Nunez masterclass, right? Like it wasn't like he came on and it was just like, wow, Darwin Nunez. But You score 2 goals like that, and you need to build on that confidence, because I
Totally.
think Darwin Nunez at the moment, it's probably not just confidence, but confidence is a big part of a striker's world. And so get him back in there, see if he can do it again against
Get him another
LOSC.
goal. Get him another goal, Sam. This is
Get
what
him
I'm
another
saying. He has
goal.
to start, mate.
I'm sure there is an amplification when it is a European night at Anfield to score in front of that crowd. Just got to get him in there and see if he can build on that. I actually love this, Aaron. I made a point in a video earlier today about Harvey Elliott needs playing time, because he came on and he
Change the
was
game.
directly involved with both goals. He is a low block killer, and just seems
As was
to.
Chiesa, though, Sam, yeah? As was
Yeah, Chiesa as
Chiesa.
well.
He was
Same
he
thing.
was
Yep,
involved in both goals.
absolutely. Yep. And so, there's this stretch that we've been, apart from the Brentford game, we saw this last season, right? Where we get to January, February, and it just seems like everybody's deflated for some reason.
Tired.
And that's why I think putting in guys like Chiesa and Elliott and even Darwin Nunez to some degree, it just gives you fresh ideas. It gives you fresh legs. It gives you fresh competition. These are guys that really haven't seen the pitch at all this season. Darwin Nunez has, but you got Elliott and Chiesa. Those 2 guys are looking to prove themselves. And you put them out there on a European night, you give them confidence, and maybe you spark a little bit of fire underneath guys like Gakpo and Diaz, and maybe even Mohamed Salah, to say like, hey, this is not a given for you guys. You need to work for this. So I love this. I'd love to see it. I think Liverpool would actually score quite a few goals with this lineup, because when Slot makes big changes like this, Liverpool tend, at least this season, they've tended to respond really, really well. I think all the way back to that West Ham game where we beat West Ham 5-1 in the Carabao Cup, it was just like, wow, this is fluid. And he largely changed up the entire team for that game. So, Aaron, what do you got for a score prediction here, man?
Yeah, I think just on top of that as well, Sam. Sorry, do I think he will do this? I don't know. I don't think he will do this. Slots. For me, he can afford to do what's on the screen here now. He can afford to do that. I hope he does, because you know what? Rest Salah, rest Diaz, rest Gakpo. Let them earn their stripes again, yeah? Because they both had, all 3 of them had a very poor game.
Yeah.
Chiesa, hungry. Elliott, hungry. Nunez off the back of 2 goals. If that works, they're saying to the manager, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, get me in. So fingers crossed. And I'm going for a score. I think there's going to be goals in this. And I think with the defence that you've got there and the midfield that you've got there, Sam, we look strong.
Yeah.
I think it'll be very hard for Lille to score past us. And I can see this maybe being a 3-1.
Aaron, this might be one of the only times where we agree on the score prediction. That's what I had as well. 3-1 to Liverpool. I could see a clean sheet in this one. But I think, LOSC are probably a better team than a lot of people expect them to be.
Oh, yeah.
And hey, it's a big night. But I think Liverpool will score. And I think, these are the types of games you get out of the Premier League for a couple days, and you just, I want to see him go out and have some fun. Liverpool Football Club for the past month, it's just been kind of seems like a dark shadow has been looming over the club for some reason. We sit top of the Premier League and the Champions League and all these things, but at least in the fan base, it's just felt heavy. So let's go out, let's have a little bit of fun on an Anfield night, and let's see the boys cook.
Yeah. Has that slightly seeped onto the pitch?
I think so. Absolutely.
That's the question, Sam.
I think so.
I think everything revolving around contracts and signings, as much as we want them, they're not here yet. Hopefully they are. But you know what? That negativity sometimes overspills, and I think it's maybe started to seep into a few of the players, like what's happening. Yeah, that what if and what's happening is big questions in football, isn't it? And I think just a little bit of uncertainty creeps in.
Yeah.
But we're still doing great. We're amazing. As far as I'm concerned, we're top of everything, and that's where we need to stay.
I agree. A quick refresher here on the table. Liverpool currently perfect in Europe, 18 points out of 18. And you can see LOSC down here in 8th place. It's a beautiful sight. And let's just hope Liverpool continue their winning ways. We want to see a little bit of momentum, especially going into the weekend against Ipswich, where every single match counts from here on out. It's going to be massive, and it's going to be up the Reds.